Hi, it's Kyle coming on to do September. No, we can't see it, but September's budget closeout. I know I'm technically early because I'm gonna try and put this up tonight, which is the 29th. But I'm just gonna make tomorrow part of October just for my brain. Um, so it was super busy, as the first month of school always is. So I went down, wrote down week one, week two. I went to an Irish Fest, and I also went to a fair. And some things like I categorized as one thing and then realized I actually still ended up with money in that category. So I moved it. Did quite a bit of traveling this past weekend. Drove 3.5 hours. Yeah, 3.5 hours away, but it was amazing. Got to spend time with family. So overall, what this essentially equates to is for gas, I spent of the 165 I had budgeted, I spent 128.20. And what I've decided to do is I'm going to drop it down to 30 to roll over to next month and essentially move 680. Because I did overspend in 3 categories this month, because I had forgotten that I had a dentist appointment and I have to go back in October to get a filling and possibly a bite guard. So I know I'm going to need more money in health for next month. So I am trying to cancel out my overspend overall. I did have some extra income this month, so it's not, I didn't go in the red overall because I had extra income, and then I also redeemed some credit card rewards points. So either way, I'm in the green or in the black. Coffee, I budgeted 25 and ended up with $1.79. Groceries, I started out with so I spent 23.21. Groceries, I started out with 210, spent 208 to 82. Part of that was a pretty big Thrive order that I got for some of the more unusual snack items that I keep for myself when I work late at work. So I ended up with $1.18 because one of my this one 69 cents. I had $3 worth of points at a local grocery store I go to, so I used that to pay for most of my gallon of milk. Restaurants, I budgeted 220. I spent 218.39, so I had $1.61 left. Health, I had budgeted 35. I actually spent 67, so I was over budget by $32. Because I also forgot that another one of my meds was up for renewal. Home, I actually spent nothing. Had everything I needed. Personal, I spent $677. I think it was deodorant. So I have $38.23. I'm gonna go get my I'm gonna get a pedicure done soon. Clothing, I was doing really good, and then at the fair they had a clearance for Carhartt hoodies. I wear Carhartt hoodies as like my general like off non work related hoodies. I wear almost all Carhartt, and I keep them for years, and they wear really well. And they are not cheap, and they had a hoodie that I really liked on clearance, so I decided to pick that up. Hobbies, I definitely went over this month. I spent 90.84. So I spent Labor Day sales and one of my unicorns. It's a small painting that I really, really wanted. I actually have it sitting next to me. It's this one. It's for my. So I'm going to do that. I bought it off of Facebook. It was in a mystery kit that I don't want to buy one of their mystery things because I don't know if I'm going to like all of them. So I can't justify that. But this was one that I've been looking for. So between those two, I blew through my budget. I ended up spending $90.84 for the month, and then everything else I came real close. I spent $294.72 out of the 300, so I had $528 left over. So what I decided to do was essentially in the categories that I had just change, I rounded them to the whole, with the exception of home. I actually cut that one half. My plan for next month is to take this 20, is essentially to end up with 40 again for home, but rather than putting 40 in it, I'm just going to take the 20, add another 20, and then I'm going to put the other 20 into health. And then after doing all of my rounding, I ended up with 3189, essentially extra. Total spend was 1,094.60. My overspend was 117.35. So after I take off the roundings, I ended up with 85.51. But I had an extra pay of a training I did in August. I got paid for it. So once I take that 150 and take off the 85, it balances out just fine. So I am going to, so gas, I spent 128.20. Coffee, I spent 23.21. Groceries, 208.82. Restaurants is 218.39. Health was 67. Home was 0. Personal was 677. Clothing was 44.51. Hobbies was 90.84. Everything else was 294.72, which gives me a total of 1,094.60. 1,094.60. But I take it from this number, not this number, even though this is what I contributed. Oops, you can't even see that, sorry. Even though that's what I contributed, I had this essentially to play with. So it actually is 84.60. So even though I was over in two of my categories, or no, sorry, over in one of my categories, bills I came in under because I round, that payments were right on track, and I didn't end up buying anything for my house this month. So when I take all of those, I thought I had this up, and apparently not. So if I do 401.36 minus 544, oops, not 544. Minus 84.60, or no, this is the part where I always mess up. So I ended up with, 3,162.36 plus minus 3,162.36 minus 1,484.56 minus 1,094.60 minus 153 gives me a total overage of $430.20. So even with my overspending, I still ended up saving over $400. And this is where I know a lot of people would argue and be like, you need to be more mindful, you need to be, yes, I went over budget. However, I got paid for that day, or I got paid for the curriculum day in the middle of the month, so I knew I had an extra $150 in my budget. And also I ended up, when I budgeted for this month, I didn't know what my new pay rate was going to be. It actually ended up going up 1,484.37 minus ended up going up 104, just over $100. So between those two things, and then I switched where I am paying which credit card I use to pay auto pay for my car insurance, and they started doing, I get like $6 back every month for just having that on auto pay. So that's an extra $13 between that and my Disney Plus reimbursement. So between all of those extras, I am totally fine with my budget. Have a great day.